the last episode, we talked about how fear stifles you, stifles your brilliance. Fear tries to hold you imprisoned, but only as long as you cannot see the truth. I have a passion to help you to connect with who you really are, align you with your inner intelligence, and finally let go of those panicking thoughts and feelings that fear just whips up out of nowhere sometimes. And we talked about the 3 most common mistakes we make that prevent us from living a fearless life. Yes? Just going over this very quickly. Mistake number 1 was that you identify with your ego. The ego always holds you back or pulls you back again and again if you dare to create positive change for yourself. Why? Because the ego is stuck in the status quo. It is fearful and believes that you must fight for everything. Food, goods, recognition, wealth, even love. And how you want to be seen by others. So there is a lot of pretense that the ego tries you to bring forth. Don't be yourself. You may not be loved. That is so damaging. Your ego constantly judges everything by what it can lose, right? Everything bad that has ever happened to you or anywhere around you in your life, even when you were not really consciously aware of it. All of that is recorded within your subconscious mind. The ego picks up that data. Your ego gives you the illusion of safety as long as you don't change anything. Why? Because you are alive now, right? Right now we are alive, so everything is good, even if you're miserable. And that's really all that is important to your ego. It's a primal instinct to keep you alive. But alive is not good enough anymore, right? Not for a long time. But anyway, let's quickly go through the second mistake that we usually make. You believe and buy into the 3 key areas of where fear keeps you stuck. And these areas are total illusions, imaginations of your mind. Fear prevents you from taking positive action and maybe even follow your bliss. Do you know what those 3 key illusions are? Let me tell you. All of those, you probably know them quite well. They are fear of failure or not being good enough. Yes. Even fear of success and the changes and responsibilities it may bring. Or that maybe somebody doesn't want you to be all that successful and you are afraid of that. But anyway, fear of success, as crazy as it sounds, is a true fear that may hold you back. And then, of course, fear of the unknown. That includes fear of disease and fear of death. And since I'm speaking to women at this, of a certain age, as we get older, those fears tend to be triggered much more than when we were much, much younger. And you get this, you understand this, why, right? But your ego is connected to your fearful mind. So if you listen, act, and rely on your mind alone, you will probably stay stuck in those fear-based illusions. Okay, last mistake, that you do not realize that you are so much more than just your body. Believing that you are your body will keep you trapped in ignorance, a smallness. And again, it is your ego that holds you prisoner to that limited mind, because your mind does not know who you are. So I believe we may have established that the opposite, that fear is not something you want to cling to, and that you may want to become very attentive to or sensitive to when it comes up. That you know it comes from your ego, it comes from a primal instinct, and that you have a powerful weapon against it, because the opposite of fear is love, and love comes from your heart. And your heart listens to your soul more intently than your mind does. Your heart actually informs your brain. So identifying with your mind keeps you small and fearful, while identifying with your heart and soul liberates you. Yes, visualizing and know that ego is a dwarfed next to your soul. Can you just visualize that? Your ego that always puffs itself up and wants to be so big is actually tiny, small, a dwarfed compared to your soul. Your soul is a giant. Yes, a giant. So do you believe that connecting with the soul is key? I believe so. And I hope you believe it too, because if you believe that you have a soul, you also believe in a supreme being, that your soul has its essence from. You can call the supreme force a creator of all there is in the universe, God, or whatever name you have according to maybe your belief. So, but just let us call this creator God for the simplicity and the purpose here. This creator of all there is. Let's call it God. Yes? But you can call it whatever you want, if you believe that you have a soul. So let me ask you, do you believe that God is fearful? Can you imagine a fearful God? No, I don't think so. Consequently, your soul is incapable of experiencing fear as well. If your soul, it's really God essence and it's God incarnated within you, then your soul cannot be fearful unless you believe that God can be fearful, which I don't believe you can believe. It somehow doesn't make sense. But with whom would you rather align your life with? Your fearful ego or your fearless soul? Really, sometimes we forget that we have a choice here. I think the choice is quite clear. But how do you connect with your soul, Angelika? I get this question quite a bit. Many say through prayer, and yes, that is fine. If it takes your fear away and you can identify with the divine within you through prayer, yes. In any case, you must become still to even deeply connect with the inert, the primal and the natural wisdom and intelligence of your soul's magnificent presence within you. I believe that prayer is kind of more talking to God. We want something, we pray for something, but you need to become still so that you can listen to God's voice, the voice within you, through your soul. And here is something that is easy to remember, and it makes sense. Your mind shouts, right? Your mind always shouts. It said, don't do this, be careful. It has all of these loud voices. But your soul does not shout. Your soul whispers. So therefore, is it not logical that you must become still and turn inward so that you can listen and understand your most intimate friend and confidant? Intimate, you ask? Yes. What is more intimate than that divine part of you that knows everything about you, everything? Your soul's logic and intelligence is imprinted. It's divinely coded within every cell of your physical body. Every one of your maybe 70 trillion or however cells you have, I know it's many, many, many trillions, that make up your physical body. It is an energetic imprint. And I don't want to go into metaphysics here, but you have the physical body, but you have actually 4 lower bodies: your physical body, your etheric body, your mental body, your emotional body. But this is not the point where I want to talk about this. But know that your physical body, your every cell is actually imprinted energetically with this divine code, this divine God code. So by now we all know that we have energy, right? Even that which looks solid is still vibrating. It's still a vibration, it's a frequency. And the molecular structure of your cells, when you look through a microscope, you see everything moving there. It's a frequency, a dancing at a slower or at a faster rate. It's like a cosmic dance. It's absolutely magnificent. But so let me repeat, because this is really important. You must get in alignment and understand the language to communicate with your intelligent cells. Yes, I say intelligent cells. Every cell in your physical body is almost like a universe in itself, intelligent and receptive to your mental and emotional frequencies, the input, your thoughts, your feelings. And beyond this physical and energetic part of your cells, within you is also that divine part of your original self, the soul that has incarnated into this physical body, right? I call it your innocent, perfect self that was created in the image of God, in the image of the divine. That is a lot. I know it is a lot, but it is so not only very powerful, but it is reality. But you have to be able to tune into it. So what do you need? What do I need? What do we need? We need to become still and listen. And it takes practice. So I often get asked, how do you contact that part of you? Of course, it's over and over again by becoming still and listen to that whisper. It's a gentle voice of your soul's infinite wisdom and even logic. Did you know that you can ask your soul or your heart a question? And you know your heart, not that physical heart, but your heart of hearts and your soul are in constant communication, and your heart also informs your brain. But your soul and your heart, sometimes it's easier when you want to ask a question to put your hands on your heart and ask a question from there. Do you realize that within you is all wisdom and that you have all the answers to any question you may have? Now, we are speaking about life's question here. Maybe not mathematical equations. Maybe those too. I don't know. I am a total flop at math, so you cannot ask me about that. But becoming still. Many talk about meditation, how important meditation is, and I believe so. I believe it is. But we women have a bit of a harder time to sit still in meditation. Men do this with more ease. Why? Because men are simple. Yes, men are more simple. We are more complex. Men are simple and can focus on just one thing. Tell a man to focus on 3 or 4 things at the same time. We women can do this. Men, very few exceptions. Right? But you know this, yes? Have you ever driven in your car while having a conversation on your mobile phone? I know it's not allowed, but sometimes we do this, right? And at the same time, or then going from this, looking in the rear mirror, and see your child or something going on, and maybe having a conversation there. Or then in between, maybe pulling out your lipstick and refreshing the lip color. Yeah. Your imagination can, add some other things to it, but we can do all of that kind of simultaneously, right? Yes. So sitting still in meditation is not easy for us women. It may take some practice. Actually, for me personally, I prefer a walking meditation. Now I'm very fortunate. I live in the Bahamas and I live right on the beach. I have the most beautiful, pristine ocean right in front of me, less than a minute from my room, from my place, going down to this pristine beach and having a walk. So I am fortunate with that, and I love my meditations there. In the chapter of my book Win, with the title, I think it's in the back there. You see it on my bookcase there. Win, winning strategies by. Anyway, the title it's not important. The chapter that I wrote in there is Living a Fearless Life by Choice. So this was written in 2011, has been a while ago, right? In there, I introduced a profound yet easy and enjoyable way to quiet the mind and sink deeply into a peaceful state of a meditative state or a super conscious state, because we shut the mind off and sink into our ground of being. Because in that ground of being is where your soul can release her wisdom and logic to you. If you have never meditated before, my hand meditation that I introduced there will allow you to interrupt your mental chatter at once, so that you can reach the state of deep listening. I will probably put a link somewhere, maybe in the next episode or in my bio. I put a link into this so that you can click it and look up my hand meditation. It is very easy and very powerful. In another book I wrote with the title, Your Intelligent Cell, Intrinsic Relationship with Your Body, I show you how you can communicate with your body. It is most logical and wise, and it is the path to harmony, healing, and bring peace into your life. So you can live a fearless, a joyful, and fulfilling life by choice. And as I said earlier, we now know scientifically that everything is energy. And what is energy? Energy is magnetic, which means that we attract into our life what is most coherent with our own energy, with our own frequency, with our own vibration. In other words, what is most in alignment with our values and how we live our life. Yes? You know the saying, life, like attracts like. Yes? That one, I believe, is even a mathematical equation. Yes? Like attracts like. So consequently, anxiety and fear attract only more of the same. So why not aim for love and joy and attract more of that? Unless you want to stick with anxiety and fear. But if you focus and think and put yourself in a state of joy and love, you will attract more of that. And consequently, abundance and everything you desire, that you then become in resonance with, in alignment with that energy will come to you, will be attracted to you. Unerringly, the universe responds to you. whatever you attract is already within you anyway, and only becomes part of your life experience. If it is fear and anxiety and limiting beliefs and all of this, you act that out. It becomes visible in your life, right? But you have a choice to either align with your fearful ego, as I said before, or choose your fearless, unlimited, and loving and intelligent soul. Both choices, I mean, there is no judgment with any of that. You have a choice. That's our liberation. Both choices, each choice creates a different experience, right? Different results. Still, all is just energy. That's all it is. So there is no judgment, right? If we just play with our energy. In a universe where the law of attraction and the law of cause and effect rules, sooner or later, you get what you resonate with. Does that make sense? So the choice is yours. Love or fear. Love or fear. And the consequences of both create an immediate response. If choosing love is too difficult or vague for you, maybe at this moment, you can always start with gratitude. Gratitude is a path to love and acceptance. Sometimes we don't even know what love is, but we do know what gratitude is. Yeah. So we are slowly getting out of time here. So let me give you something that is kind of easy to remember. Who do you want to call when fear threatens your happiness? Do you remember that, well, if you are, 45 and over, you may remember this. Do you remember the movie Ghostbusters? Yes, I remember it. Who are you going to call? Ghostbusters? Anyway, so who do you want to call when fear threatens your happiness? Who are you going to call? Fearbuster, right? Ghostbuster? Why not a Fearbuster? Do you remember? Do you remember what busts your fear? Do you? I hope so. It is your soul. You remember? Your ego is connected to fear because your ego wants to keep you in the status quo. It wants to keep you alive. So your ego is very strongly connected to fear. It whips up fear whenever you want to change something, to better yourself, to venture out and experience something that maybe you haven't experienced before, but that will bring you incredible benefits and joy and an adventure. But your fearful ego will try to pull you back. First you hesitate, and then if you hesitate enough, then you are paralyzed and you don't do anything. And all these things come through your mind. What if? Maybe this could happen, or that could happen, and oh, I don't think I should do this. And all this, almost to throw up, all this old conditioning comes up, all of the naysayers and everything you have heard in the past gets triggered. And your mind will just throw it out, throw it at you. Yes, so that you don't dare to venture out of what could be safe, what your ego feels is safe. But then you have this internal powerhouse to stop fear whenever it shows up. Well, there is a purpose for fear. Okay, let's be very clear about that. A legitimate purpose would be to protect your life or prevent you from making a grave mistake. And there is that intuition, and it doesn't come necessarily from your mind. It comes from your gut, where you just know that this would not be good, and it may be triggered by fear. For example, if you step on a ledge and you say, oh, you know, my soul is so expensive, I can fly, I don't think you will actually be able to step off and dare to do this. There is this primal instinct that will just shoot adrenaline, shoot your flood your whole body with fear, so that you shriek back, step back. It's also when you step on a road and you are in your thought and you don't see a car approaching very fast. Your mind cannot even resolve that quickly enough. There is an energetic response that is attached to a life-threatening situation, and it doesn't come from your brain, because your brain is much too slow for that. Your heart, your soul is faster. It creates that, and it pulls you back. Okay, so excuse me. Can we say that your soul is a fearbuster? Yes, your soul is a fearbuster. So the time has come to finally let go of fear for good. That fear that is not life-threatening, that just wants to hold you back, right? The time has come to finally let go of fear for good and use this powerful energy. The energy of fear is amazing. You can use it for passion or excitement, or even your physical strength. Yes, sometimes when we are fearful, maybe jump up and down or run fast or do something to use this energy, so it's not stuck in you and feels so horrible. Yes, you can do this. So in the next episode, I will show you how to turn the energy of fear into a positive energy, an energy that supports you. Yes, because it can actually be used, and it can support, it can fuel your physical energy. It can fuel your mental energy and capacity, and will give you an emotional experience that you actually want and not be hijacked into. Yes, does all of this make sense? I hope so. I know it was a lot in here, and if you don't believe in the soul, if you don't believe in God, then use it however you want, because you do know you have two energies within you. Yes, one that comes from your heart and it's good, and the other one that always pulls you back, you know, and it's usually you feel it in your head, because it kind of overwhelms you, and it makes you sick in your stomach. It has all kinds of things, but fear is not a thing, it's an energy. Okay, remember that. And so in the next episode, I will speak about how you can actually use this energy. Okay,